Gather yourselves. All right. All right.
Oh, is this my
We are
mic?
back from our recess. We will open up with Councilwoman Coonrod's proclamation. She has a proclamation recognizing Karen Clay for 25 years of outstanding service to the Neighborhood Services Division. Councilwoman Coonrod?
Thank you, Chair. New mic. What, Miss Karen? Where's she gone? Miss Karen Clay? Can somebody put her theme music on? Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.
Here she comes.
Yes, thank you, Miss Karen. So this is a Chattanooga City Council proclamation, whereas Karen Clay has dedicated 25 years of outstanding service to the Neighborhood Services Division for the city of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Whereas through her passion, positivity, and commitment to helping neighbors and community groups, Ms. Clay has made the city of Chattanooga a better place. Whereas she has spearheaded efforts to showcase the history of Chattanooga's neighborhood associations, connecting residents to their local communities. Whereas she has led the efforts in facilitating the development of neighborhood roundtable series, which aims to facilitate open and solutions-oriented dialogue between local residents, community leaders, law enforcement, local business owners, and other relevant stakeholders. Whereas Ms. Clay epitomizes, I know I probably said that wrong, the meaning of true public service and what it means to serve the community with vision and leadership. Whereas in honor of her legacy, the Clay Community Impact Initiative, established by Coonrod, has been established to empower local residents with resources, mentorship, and support to help build a stronger, more connected Chattanooga. Now, therefore, I, Councilwoman Demetrius Coonrod, City Council Member for District 9, Chattanooga, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim December the 19th, 2023 as the GOAT's Day, Karen Clay Day, in the city of Chattanooga in honor of her 25 years of exceptional service to the community. I call upon all citizens to join me in celebrating Ms. Clay's accomplishments and dedications. And witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Chattanooga to be affixed this 19th day of December the 23rd. And here's a gift from the entire city council. Appreciate you. All right, the GOAT has declined to speak. Thank you, Ms.
All
Karen.
right, thank you, Ms. Karen, for all your hard work and service. We appreciate you. Thank you. All right, and I do want to recognize Commissioner Mackey, who's here today. Thank you for joining us. All right, Council, Madam Clerk, ordinance is under final reading. Item A, under fire.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 10, Section 10-5, relative to the exclusion of Fire District Area 12.
Councilman Henderson?
Move approval. Second.
It's been motioned and properly second. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Planning items, I'm sorry, council, if there's no objection, we'll take items B through E as a group unless, all right, yes, go ahead.
Do B and C, that would be fine, but I've got motions on D and E to withdraw, but I would like to make individual.
Yes, sir. All right, Madam Clerk, if you can do items B and C.
Item B, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1137 Old Pineville Road from R1 residential zone to R3 residential zone, subject to certain conditions. Item C, an ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to rezone property located at 1923 Hamel Road from R4 special zone to C5 neighborhood commercial zone.
Move approval.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, item D.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance so as to lift conditions number 2, 3, and 4 and amending condition number 1 from ordinance number 9135, a previous case number 1989-0046 for part of the property located at 5431 Hickson Pike.
All right, Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've heard from the applicant, and this will apply to the next item as well, and their desire to withdraw. So I move to withdraw, ma'am.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second to withdraw. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, item E.
An ordinance to amend Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 38 zoning ordinance, so as to rezone properties located at 5138, 5144, 5150, and 5157 Strickland Drive, 5422nd Old Hickson Pike, and an unaddressed parcel in the 5400 block of Old Hickson Pike from R2 residential zone to R3 residential zone, subject to certain conditions.
All right,
Move to
Councilman
withdraw.
Smith.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Smith. Ordinances under first reading, Parks and Outdoor. Madam Clerk, item A.
An ordinance amending Chattanooga City Code, Part 2, Chapter 26, Section 26-424, Chapter 24, Section 2410, and Chapter 25, Section 2528, relative to skates, skateboarding, scooters, and/or similar devices.
Okay, Madam Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based on the conversation earlier in our business meeting today, I'd like to move to table this until February 13th.
All right.
And Madam Chair, I would also like to request that we have a work session on this ordinance on the 23rd of January,
All right, so.
if that's
on the-
amenable to our schedule.
Yeah, well, let me get the motion done. So there's been a motion to table this until February 13th. Any comments or questions? And there was a request to have a work session.
Yeah, that was my
That's-
comment.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right, all right. Any additional comments or questions? All in favor to table this until February the 13th?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and we will schedule the work session
Thank
with
you.
you. All right. Madam Clerk, item B.
An ordinance closing and abandoning an unopened right-of-way located in 5100 block of Strickland Circle as detailed on the attached maps, subject to certain conditions.
All right, Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This goes along with the prior two items. Motion to withdraw.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Resolutions on the council office, item A.
A resolution confirming the appointment of Quinita Robinson to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 2, Shaliford, for a term beginning on December 20, 2023, and ending on December 19, 2025.
Move to approve.
All right, there's no second?
Oh, second.
Okay, there's a motion and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. Is Quinita Robinson here? All right. Well, if she's watching, thank you for your service. On the economic development, if there's no opposition from council, we will take items B through D as a group. All right, Madam Clerk?
Item B, a resolution authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a lease agreement with the Chattanooga Housing Authority and substantially the form attached to lease approximately 4,581 square feet at 2476th Avenue, a portion of tax map number 156JG047 for the city's Head Start, Early Head Start program for a term of 364 days for the rent of $1 with the option to renew for 3 additional terms of 364 days each. Item C, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Economic Development to enter into an agreement with the Chattanooga Chamber Foundation to administer the Apprenticeship Works Initiative, a collaboration between the City of Chattanooga, Hamilton County Schools, the Benwin Foundation, and Chattanooga 2.0, which will build the capacity of Chattanooga businesses to grow registered apprenticeship and youth apprenticeship programs in the amount of $50,000. Item D, a resolution authorizing the award of U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD Community Development Block Grant COVID CDBG CV funds to various organizations, more particularly described herein, for the total amount of $1,448,782.
All right, you've heard the reading. Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. If there's no objection from council, we'll take items E through H as a group. All right, Madam Clerk?
Item E, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Ella Fliger to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 2, Shalford, for a term beginning on December 20, 2023, and ending on December 19, 2025. Item F, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Carolyn Lawhorn to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 2, Shalford, for a term beginning on December 20, 2023, and ending on December 19, 2025. Item G, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Danita Strickland to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 6, Bushtown, Glenwood, for a term beginning on December 20, 2023, and ending on December 19, 2024. Item H, a resolution confirming Mayor Kelly's appointment of Joe Shooting to the Community Advisory Committee, Region 7, Dotson, for a term beginning on December 20, 2023, and ending on December 19, 2024.
All right, council?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Are any of those board appointees here today? If so, would you raise your hand or stand? All right. Well, if you're watching, thank you so much for your service. Resolution on the Parks and Outdoors, item I.
A resolution authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the City of Chattanooga and Hope Included regarding the inclusive playground project at Riverview Park.
Move to approve.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, we'll take items J and K as a group if there's no objection from council. Okay, Madam Clerk?
Item J, a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into and execute a comprehensive environmental response compensation and liability act, circular warranty amendment to quitclaim deeds, granting circular covenant and discharging land use regulations on the remainder of released property known as the former Volunteer Army Ammunition Plant, VAAP. Item K, a resolution authorizing the administrator for the Department of Public Works to award contract number R220152002 Frost Stadium Concession Stand Ventilation Project to J. Brennan Construction, Inc. of Dalton, Georgia for $194,000 with a contingency in the amount of $20,000 for a total amount of $214,000.
All right.
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item L.
A resolution authorizing the administrator for the wastewater department to enter into an access easement agreement with Don R. Osai and wife Paula L. Osai in substantial form attached for the purpose of providing ingress and egress to the established sewer easement for the consideration of $103,000.
All right.
Move to approve.
All right, it's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We've reached purchases. All right, Brooke?
Good afternoon. We have 3 purchases recommended for approval. The first is from purchasing. This is a new blanket contract for soft drinks, energy drinks, and bottled water. This will be a 4-year agreement not to exceed $55,000 per year. The award will go to Coca-Cola Bottling Company United as the best bid for the city of Chattanooga. Next, from Public Works, Transportation, and Traffic Operations Division. There's a requested increase due to Traffic Operations Division requesting $31,500 for speed cushions from Rubber Form Recycled Products LLC. Public Works Transportation Division is requesting this increase for a total spend of $146,680.40 to get them through April of 2024 due to increase for speed cushions for various projects. And last, from Fleet Management Division of Public Works, this is a year 3 renewal of 4 on an existing contract with Lee Smith Inc. for automotive parts catalog. A 6% price increase has been requested by the vendor due to distributors increasing the cost of operations and transportation to vendor facilities. Estimated annual spend will remain at $1 million.
All right, you heard your purchases.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been motioned and properly second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much, Brooke. We come to committee reports. Councilman Henderson.
No report.
Councilman Smith.
No report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Ledford.
No report, Madam Chair.
Thanks. Councilman Hester.
No report.
Councilwoman Coolride.
Only report I got is December 30th is my birthday. Please do not forget it.
All right. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Coolride. Happy early birthday. Councilwoman Knoll.
No report.
Madam Vice Chair.
No report.
All right. Now we've come to time for a person who wish to address Hold on for a second, I'm sorry. We have other business, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, ma'am. Tonight, we have three businesses which are seeking retail food store applications for, I guess, beer licenses and alcohol licenses here. There is a MAPCO number 7553 at 2282 Encompass Drive, Chattanooga, Tennessee. And there are two Weigel stores. Weigel store number 105 at 4041 Hickson Pike, Chattanooga, and then Weigel store number 108 at 5531 Highway 58 in Harrison, Tennessee. And those three stores all meet the requirements of the city code and have been signed at this point by the 5 council members.
All right, thank you so much, Phil. All right, now comes time for persons who wish to address the council. Please line up behind this podium as our city attorney reads the rules.
Yes, ma'am. At the end of each council business reading, the chair will recognize members of the public who wish to address the council, and here's your rules. Each speaker wishing to address the council can only be recognized at the microphone up front for that purpose, and you can't have more than 3 minutes to speak. You can address the council only upon matters within their legislative and quasi-judicial authority, and not upon matters which are not under their authority or regulated by other governmental bodies or agencies. Can't engage in any vulgar or obscene language, nor use the floor to personally attack or personally denigrate others. Address your comments to the council as a whole and not make comments directed towards individual council members. And lastly, do not engage in any disorderly conduct or disrupting a public meeting, which is prohibited by Tennessee law. And someone commits that offense if a person substantially obstructs or interferes with the meeting by physical action or verbal utterance with the intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting or gathering. Having stated those rules, go ahead, sir.
My name is Nathan Bird. I live in District 7, and I'm here tonight as the president of the Community Association of Historic St. Elmo, or CASE for short. Today, we have sent each of you a letter that was unanimously adopted by CASE at our December meeting and subsequently signed by 194 neighbors. I would like to read this letter into the record, slightly abridged to 3 minutes. On November 2nd, our community faced another alarming crash on St. Elmo Avenue. A driver veered off the road, swerving through a front yard, destroying one neighbor's fence and damaging another neighbor's front porch. Fortunately, the children who often play in the front yard were not present. This was the fourth such crash to occur in St. Elmo Avenue in just the past 12 months, underscoring a dangerous trend of high-speed, reckless driving along this residential street. In our discussions with CPD, we've sought a sustainable solution to this serious issue and have repeatedly been told that the only long-term solution is, quote, better signage, traffic calming devices, and speed humps in strategic locations. St. Elmo is a growing family neighborhood. Children play in their yards, ride their bikes to school, and walk in the park. Families walk to the ice cream shop or to church on Sunday mornings. Unfortunately, many parents have anxiety about letting their children play after school or cross the street. In its current state, St. Elmo Avenue is a dividing line in a neighborhood that seeks to be united. We acknowledge that St. Elmo Avenue is a state route, but it is also undeniably a neighborhood street. The safety and well-being of neighborhood residents should take precedence as we ask you to help us elevate the following requests. First, that CPD create a long-term traffic enforcement plan that is actionable and measurable to ensure that St. Elmo is known as a community that takes speeding seriously. That CDOT perform a new traffic study to determine the daily traffic flows, 85th percentile speed, and 50th percentile speed. That CDOT study the section between 46th Street and 55th Street for possible designation as an S-curve under TCA section 55-8-198, and if the findings are affirmative, install an unmanned traffic enforcement camera. That CDOT and RPA perform a community survey and safety audit to identify key intersections which connect neighborhoods and community hubs. That this council, the mayor's office, CDOT, RPA, and CPD work with CASE to elevate our concerns to TDOT and help us create an actionable and achievable short-term and long-term redesign of St. Elmo Avenue, with the goal of bringing the 85th percentile speed to match the current posted speed limit of 25 miles per hour. And last, that the City of Chattanooga study the possibility of taking responsibility for St. Elmo Avenue from TDOT, as has been done with Riverfront Parkway and Main Street, and to make public the results of that study. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nathan.
Hi there, it's Haley Dunning. I'm from District 1. Hello again.
we had a small group of us that got together on Saturday and it worked through a kind of informal walking audit in the Fraser Avenue area around the pedestrian bridge down to the market to Tremont. And we followed the AARP walkability guidelines and filled out several of the worksheets. And as we went through that, we noticed some areas high in priority to look at, and there are several blind spots around the intersections for pedestrians. Cars cannot see pedestrians that well at the corners of Market, turning from the bridge and from the other way as well, eastbound. And then at the curb of Tremont and Fraser, there's not really enough time for pedestrians because of all of the barriers of when cars speed from Veterans, still with the barrels, they're trying to like catch up to the light as much as possible. And there's not enough time with proximity of cars for people to get through quite safely. And as I was standing there as well, and we were observing and filling out worksheets, near the bus stop there, the wrong type of step for pedestrians to do the crosswalk there at the walking bridge crosswalk there. So if anyone has a stroller, they have only about this much to kind of get through if there's a wheelchair user or anything, and that's one of our more that's one that is an audible pedestrian crosswalk as well. And so thinking of the different texture and everything, it wasn't quite up to what is recommended. So those with visual impairments and different abilities as well need to be able to get through there safely and feel the difference of the ground and have a curb not be a step down in the wrong direction. And I'd highly recommend us proceeding after doing several of the community feedback meetings in January. I was very glad to hear about that and hope to be there. And hopefully we can do like a more legitimate kind of walking audit as well. And I would like to see definitely the incorporation of proper separated bike lanes as well. As we know, like the scooters just got added to Bike Chattanooga stuff, so I want that to really be incorporated as well into the changes here at Fraser. And I thank you all again for hearing us out, and I look forward to those meetings.
Yeah, thank you, Haley.
Karina Miller, District 1. As I have for the past 3 weeks, I walked here from Cherokee Boulevard, passing the aftermath of the accident at Fraser. Although I now live in Hickson, I grew up on Tucker Street, up the hill from Fraser and Tremont. And yes, that intersection is a huge problem. In theory, half of my daily activities were a 15-minute walk away. Tucker Street is shaped like a fish hook. On the curved part, the southern end, there is a retainer wall on one side and a slope on the other side. That portion of it has a 180-degree blind curve in the road and absolutely no sidewalk. Still, that was the quickest way, by far, to get downtown on foot. The second quickest path was East Manning, which had all the same problems, but twice the amount of curves. Even heading north, the sidewalks are patchy. They forced us to cross the road again and again and again just to find a functional sidewalk. I remember countless close calls with vehicles while walking with my family down to Coolidge, or heading to summer camp at the Chattanooga Theater Center, or walking to school at Normal Park. When I was walking, I felt like the road was not intended for the people that lived there, but for the cars that used it as a shortcut. Streets like the one I grew up on present some different issues than the ones like Fraser do, but the attitude towards pedestrians and bikers and wheelchair users remains the same. This may be visible through the behavior of individual drivers, but it is not rooted in that. It is rooted in the design of the road. In 2022, during the midterms, I canvassed for a local candidate. I was sent to all sorts of neighborhoods to knock doors all over Chattanooga. But the one thing almost all of them had in common was a lack of pedestrian infrastructure. Whole neighborhoods with little to no sidewalks Long, straight roads that cut the residential areas with every single driver going 20+ over the speed limit. This problem is everywhere in Chattanooga. I agree with all the comments made before me. Please act to protect pedestrians.
Thank you.
My name is David Crutcher, and I'm from District 2. I'm actually also a former employee of the city, serving 30 years in recreation. I'm here today on behalf of Gerald Perry. At the present time, he's under investigation, and it's ongoing, and it's been going on approximately close to 30 days. And so far, no one has found anything immoral, illegal, or anything against the city policy. The community is very concerned over there in that area. They want him back over there being that facility manager. There is no reason that's been found that he should not be there. We're asking the council, the mayor to look into this because it's very important to that community. Gerald has been, he's been so valuable over there, it's sometimes hard to describe just how valuable. He has taken those kids on trips to prisons to give them opportunity to understand this is where you don't want to be years down the road, not to go that route. He's taken them to colleges so that they'd have the opportunity for hope to be able to attain an education. He has done these things on his own time. He has not been paid for them or even asked for any type of repayment for those type of things. He has been a vital person in that community for many, many years. He worked at the old center before it was done. He's working at the new center. And one of the things that has happened over there, he was understaffed for many, many months. Only him and one other person working. Yet and still, there were other facilities that had 3 to 5 workers, and that really didn't make any sense. Me knowing recreation, I knew that was not the way to go in staffing a facility. That facility should have been staffed just as much as the other large centers, but that being the newest one and one of the largest ones, how can you only have 2 workers running that facility? It's unsafe for one thing, because kids get into things that when there's not people around to watch them, that's not fair to each child. But Gerald has done a lot for that community, a lot for that center. There are kids now in college because of him. There are kids now not in jail because of him. He has done everything possible to help that community. He called people to help get food for people numerous times. He is needed back at that recreation center. There are several people here right now, and some of y'all, if you will either raise your hand or if you'd like to come up and say a few words, that'll be fine. But would y'all raise your hand in support of Gerald? These people are here to want to get understanding of, let you know Gerald is valuable. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hey, David. David.
Mr. Crutcher?
Good to see you.
Oh, thank you, Councilman.
I hate this is why.
I'm sorry.
I hate that this is why you were down here to see us today.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to keep this really, really short for the moment because of the circumstances. But I would say that you could probably stand there another 30 minutes and not even scratch the surface of what this man has meant to the community, the entire city of Chattanooga, and most of them don't even know it.
So true.
Thank you for coming down here this evening.
God sent me, and he sent some others also. And that's who I trust, and that's who I follow. Thank you, Councilman, for those kind words.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All
All
right.
right, thank you. Councilman Henderson?
I wanted to follow up. Chief, can you come up and, I think I saw an email with an update on this investigation. Could you, the people that are here, just kind of update us on the investigation that is ongoing and when we think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, there's not a lot of information that I can give out because it is a private employment matter. But as soon as we have an update, we will be sure to get that information out to the council, and to the extent possible to the general public.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right? Councilman Henderson? What's that?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, you come on up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, can you hear me? Chattanooga Mayor, City Council, and citizens. I am lay brother Stephen Gerard Sadlowski on vacation, actually traveling from Ohio to Florida. But I am delighted to be speaking before your wonderful city council. You will be my first city council that I've ever spoken to in the wonderful state of Tennessee. For those of you who might like to know, I did teach country western dance, and Rocky Top was a big deal with me when I taught that dance, okay? I have provided your city clerk Bible bookmarks for all of you. I don't know if you've received them yet or not. Oh, good, that's good. And I've also provided an information sheet which helps to elaborate and discuss the Bible bookmark, because I don't have the time, of course, in the 3 minutes to do so. I'd like to open with a song because I'm a pro-life speaker. The joy of the Spirit of God is love for His creation. The joy of the Spirit of God is love for His creation. On the information sheet, you're going to learn I put Psalm 139, which is like a pro-life biblical story. It says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." That describes every one of us in our mother's womb. We are all persons in our mother's womb. The reason I come before you is because Chattanooga has a city charter along with about 13 other cities, because I've done a little bit of research in the state of Tennessee. We now have language where you can put personhood in the city charter and become a permanent pro-life personhood city. I'll just leave it on that note, and I hope that we talk about this in the future. And on the Bible bookmark, I'm going to close with the song "Let the Beating Heart" by Ann Delaney. Let the beating heart, let the beating heart show you there is life in the womb. God bless you all. Wisdom touch your hearts and move you in the new direction of personhood. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Amy. I'm from North Shore. I've never come to a city council meeting, but I was on the scene when the family was struck by a van at Coolidge Park. I ran over to help. Since that day, being on the road has been a very disturbing place. Walking through town has been very disturbing. Those people, the death that they died, their bodies were very broken. So I guess I'm really just here today because I really hope that we're talking about making some major changes. I don't know where to find this information, so I hope maybe I can learn something today, but the reality of our roads and how terrible it is for pedestrians is very disturbing. I hope no one ever has to see that happen to someone, especially a baby, or it happened to you or someone that you love. I learned a lot about life that day, and I just really hope that we're actively doing something. I know things cost money and no one likes that, but the price of a life is really high, and the pain that someone pursues to lose their life in that manner is an even higher price. I don't really want to go into the gory details of their injuries, but I'll never forget it. And neither will the people who were there that day and the families that had to get a phone call about baby Jonathan and Anna Paso. I think this town is great. I've lived here my entire life. We're getting too big, and the old dog has got to learn new tricks. These roads can't take it. Even in Hickson, it's disturbing to see the aggression and entitlement. I feel like the roads and the population and how big things are getting is creating stress on the roads. And more people are just going to keep dying. I don't want it to be me. I don't want to get paralyzed. I don't want anyone I love to get injured like that, or any of you. This accident happened so quick, and it was so shocking. I just really hope it's a wake-up call to this whole city. And I hope that we're doing something, anything. I mean, every sidewalk out here is so dangerous. People are drinking, people are road raging. So I hope we come together and work on this, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Amy.
My name is Whitney Laramata. I'm from District 7. I'm here on behalf of Gerald Perry and Avondale Center as well. I went to the old center, so is my kids go there? Well, they was going there before I found out Gerald was not there. I feel safe with him, with my kids. I grew up, like I said, with him. He does a lot of things with the kids, take them fishing. He really cares about those kids. I just feel like he just needs to be back where he needs to be. That's about it.
Thank you, Whitney.
Good afternoon. I, like several others before me, have been prompted by the recent events on Fraser Avenue to come visit today. My name is Memo Sanchez, and I'm here to advocate for continued improvements on Fraser Avenue in light of the epidemic of pedestrian fatalities in our city. In the recent past, I worked as an emergency medicine physician assistant in the largest trauma center in this part of the country, and I've had the firsthand experience, similar to others today, of handling broken bodies due to auto versus pedestrian accidents. Today, I'm a public health professional researcher with a passion for injury prevention, including minimizing pedestrian morbidity and mortality. But I'm also a civil servant, and I understand the tendency of governments at all levels to pursue, not pursue, but maybe a tendency to default to the path of least resistance. But my concern regarding this issue is that too much of the public discourse is being focused on hearsay and anecdote. I'm here to advocate that the decisions that you make regarding Fraser are focused on saving lives and minimizing harm. Ultimately, that is what your charge is regarding this issue, to prevent the next pedestrian deaths from happening. These decisions should not be made with the primary goal of minimizing inconvenience for motorists, because that's the kind of mindset that has led to the death of Miss Rodriguez and her baby boy, Jonathan. One myth that I've heard perpetuated by some in our own city government is that this was an anomaly, a freak accident resulting in the death of a mother and a baby, and that's just not true. Pedestrian deaths, just like most deaths involving unintentional injury, are reflective of the environment and systems in which they occur. While the decisions of individual motorists around Fraser certainly matter, their overarching impact on pedestrian safety is more profoundly influenced by the built environment. If Fraser Avenue were a 3-lane road rather than its current configuration of 4 lanes, there's a very good chance that Ms. Rodriguez and her baby boy would still be alive. By implementing traffic calming measures, including a 4 to 3-lane conversion for Fraser Avenue, we can create an environment that naturally encourages safer behaviors, reducing risks, and promoting a secure space for pedestrians. In the shorter term, I think it would be helpful to add a speed radar below the new 25-mile-per-hour speed limit for eastbound traffic on Fraser. I say this because I think that the speed radar going the opposite direction does seem to be calming traffic. Number 2, I think it'd be helpful if we expand the traffic calming measures currently in place to 7 days a week. By prioritizing and investing in street design improvements, we have the opportunity to create a safer, more secure environment for everyone who lives in our community and/or visits our community. And I'll just finish this by saying that on the way here, I actually crossed Fraser Avenue at 5 o'clock during rush hour. As a cyclist with my 2 babies on the back, I did not feel safe. I crossed the very spot where Miss Rodriguez died. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John LaRosa. I'm in District 1. I wanted to just say that to this person that was there, that the city is doing something, and we have the temporary restrictions in place. We all, as the person just before me said, and I'll say again, and I said last week, we would love these changes to be for 7 days a week. And this is just a temporary and the first step. And there is going to be more, and if there's not more done, we will be voting in the elections for the city council, for the mayor, and for any other positions that have an impact on these types of things. I participated with another group or a small group of concerned citizens this weekend in a walk audit. If you don't know what that is, we basically just walked up and down Fraser and we noted a number of different things. And in addition to the fact that the street needs a diet so that cars will move more, are forced to move more slowly regardless of what the speed limit is, there are a number of other things, such as there's very low curbs in a number of places where literally just inches from the road. And the good thing is that these are all easy fixes, and when we are able to implement a more permanent solution, such as the proposals from 2016, we can really get all of this right, and we can really make Fraser a much safer place and more enjoyable place to be for the entire community. Whether you're driving and you'll feel safer driving because cars won't be moving so fast around you. You won't have to worry about people opening their car door who are parked there. You'll have some separation. You won't have to worry about hitting a biker or a pedestrian. And all those other modes of transport will feel much safer as well and will be safer. Not just a feeling. It actually will be a safer street for all residents of Chattanooga. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm really excited to see where we go as a city in the future. Fraser is just the first step. And the other thing I did remember now that I want to say is that we're not inventing the wheel here. This has been done in other cities. It's been done successfully. We can do this here. We can become a premier city of the South for pedestrian, multimodal modes of transport. And how great will that be when our city takes the lead in the entire Southeast U.S.? Yes, thanks.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Coonrod?
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, what's your name again?
John LaRosa.
I appreciate you coming up.
Thank you.
Past Tuesdays that you have been coming up and addressing your concerns. I represent District 9. And I hear you when you're saying, okay, well, election time, we're just going to elect people and that's going to do this. In the city of Chattanooga, I believe that they acted kind of, swiftly. Because see, in my neighborhood, I don't know if you've ever been to District 9, we have the same issues. More than several people have been killed on Brainerd Road. Not sure if you've been there, and if you ride through there now, we didn't get a swift action. More than several have lost their lives, have lost their kids. Also in my district is that every night when I go to bed to gunshots. It's children wake up the next morning and their parents have been deceased, and because of gunshots and because of the unsafetyness that happens in our neighborhood. So I do hear you and I feel your pain and all of that, empathize and sympathize with you, but it just bothers me for anybody to think that we're not doing anything, that we're doing everything that we can, not just for Fraser Street, but for every part of the district. And I want, if you ever have time, I would love for you to come, District 9, and you can see what we're living with every day, not just a one-off, every day. And then you can see where we're coming from and where our fight is. We don't want anybody to get hurt at all. And you're right, absolutely right. It needs to be something done. It's happening. It may not happen by 25 the way that you want it, but I assure you that it is happening. And see, one thing about government, that was the fastest that it did happen. And I wish my district people that look like me every time we lose a life through any kind of tragic event. I wish they would pack this room out like the people that stay in North Shore and surrounding areas that care about the woman who lost her life in that situation. But you don't have to tell us you're gonna run against. I mean, anybody can vote for whoever they want to, but I believe my colleagues and I that we do a lot to try to make sure that everybody is safe in the city of Chattanooga. But again, I do appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
Every Tuesday. I hope I see you next Tuesday.
Yes,
too.
thank you, ma'am. And I just wanted to say I appreciate what the city did with the temporary restrictions, and I know that was swift action, and I didn't mean to say that the city hadn't done anything. And also, I'm relatively new to Chattanooga, but if someone is killed in that way in your district, I will definitely be here to speak in support of changes in your district as well.
Thank you for being an ally. I appreciate you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Coonrod.
John, District 9, good to see you. Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a great holiday break after this. Every trip each one of us takes starts and ends with us as pedestrians. If you make a city safer for pedestrians, you will make it better for everyone. And we're not asking for things to be perfect, but we are asking for things to be better. Recently, I was riding down Moore Road and went to cross I-24 when the bridge was out. The Department of Transportation had put up yellow flexi posts and cones to redirect traffic so that you could go down to Belvoir and make a U-turn. There, they created a dedicated U-turn lane for cars using flexi posts and cones. It was quick, tactical, practical action that was able to be done swiftly and cheaply. Now, here's the thing. Did they have enough room for that U-turn? The answer is no, because they packed the gutters full of asphalt so that cars making the sharp turn could more easily bump onto the sidewalk to make that U-turn. Now, if you know me, you know how I feel about this, but I'm not actually here to come and condemn that move. I'm here to applaud that move. That move shows the Department of Transportation with priorities that usurp the book. They decided that the traffic alleviation that was caused by the outage on Moore Road was more important than waiting till they had enough space or waiting till they had enough time. They got scrappy and they did it, and it's working to alleviate traffic in that end. But imagine what would happen if we shifted our priorities. If we were able to say, if this, then that. Because Jack, an 80-year-old man, died walking across Brainerd Road in District 9, our district. Mrs. Brown, walking to Top Flight across Holtzclaw, just adjacent to our neighborhood, died, and they didn't get swift action. Swift action can happen when our priorities supersede the by-the-bookness we seem to have only when it comes to pedestrian safety and multimodal transportation. Tonight you've heard people from St. Elmo speak up. You've heard people from Fraser speak up. We know there's a need in our neighborhood. And what's wonderful is that if you look around Chattanooga, you see this old, beautiful infrastructure in East Chattanooga, Macaulay Avenue, St. Elmo, as mentioned, Main Street. All it needs to be is activated. We know Chattanooga is growing. We know that we have to fit more people in here, and we know that the car is the least effective, most dangerous form of transportation, and we know that we're having a record-breaking year when it comes to pedestrian deaths. We just have to shift our priorities, and the book can change. We have the power to change that book. We're not asking for perfection, we're just asking for better. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello. My voice is a little gone, so I'm sorry. My name is Sandra Todd, and I'm here on behalf of Mr. Gerald Perry in his absence from Avondale Rec Center. I don't have anything written or prepared. I just thought I'd say what was on my mind. Since Mr. Perry has been gone from the center, I've noticed a lot of things wrong with the structure. While he's there, I've never had to worry about my kids' safety. I've never had to worry about even so much as their emotional feelings. I haven't had to worry about anything with Mr. Perry there. He's always been a good person for the kids, not only for the kids in the community, but also the seniors. I've seen him do things like have meals with them and things like that. And as far as the kids, he's taken a lot of kids on trips. One specific trip that I remember was to Mississippi to see a football game. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but when I found out that the whole purpose of the trip was for him to go see a kid that used to frequent that center. And he took those kids there to let them know that that could be them too. And that means a lot to the parents in that community when somebody is offering opportunities like that to their kids, because a lot of kids in that community would never have that opportunity. I have never met anybody who cares as much for somebody else's kids as he does. I was always told when I was young, before I had kids, it takes a village to raise a kid. And for a lot of people in that community, he's considered part of that village. And I think that him being back would put a lot of people at ease for sending their children back. My kids personally haven't been there since he's been gone. He offers a lot of things in that center: chess, basketball, dance, everything. Everything that your child could possibly want, he can find a way to get it for them. And what better you can't ask for nothing better than somebody that's passionate about their job. I've never seen anybody have that type of passion for their job. And I just would like to let you know that he is very much appreciated and he is very much missed. Thank you.
Thank you.